Hi all, this is your girl Natasha. And unfortunately with this COVID, I'm still not serving my refreshments. But believe me, I've been munching back on Milano cookies, Lorna Dunes, and I do go occasionally to the deli and get my cold cuts. I put on a little COVID weight. Not ashamed to say so. Yes, I'm a plus size girl. But anyway, that's not why I'm making this announcement. Or I should say information, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, first I want to thank Lady Nyca. I've been enjoying your morning chats, girl, and I hope you will continue. Because sometimes you say things that I need to hear. Well, anyway, I was disturbed. Of course, I got in the news again, or I saw on the news in New York, there's been another transgender woman killing on the beach. They found her in the sand. It hasn't been given much information about her naturally. The news doesn't care about a transgender woman being murdered. It's always a short article, and especially if she's black. So they found her dead, 23 years old, in the sand. They don't know if it was a homicide or was it just a robbery, whatever. They don't know what the case may be, but more than likely it was a homicide. One of those typical, as usual, a guy pretending like he didn't know she was transgender and murdered her. I hope that's not the case, but they say they're further investigating. So I'm waiting to see will they even continue the story. So I want to say again to all my transgender women and men, please be careful out there. Once again, I'm a girl of a particular age, been there, done all the things you girls have done. Please be careful. If you meet a gentleman, let him know the tea. If he doesn't, it is not worth your life. But again, what I really disturbed me is I found out that 75% of the LGBT community, especially blacks and us trans women, are not registered to vote. And I am so shocked. Especially you younger girls, please go and vote. The orange man in office wants to cut a lot of health things for the transgender community. He wants to cut health care for them, where you in New York you can get your hormones and everything with your health insurance. So, I mean, it's a lot. And your care for other things, other medical issues. I've been under the weather. I suffer from lower back pain. I've been busy with the doctor with that. Walking like I'm supposed to. And here and there, I just have my days. But I'm watching on these YouTube streets, here and there. But that's not what I wanted to say, my main message. My main message is trans women, if you are not an LGBT community, if you are not registered to vote, please vote. Because if you don't vote, then if this president gets back in office, you're going to be cut off. All health care issues, all housing, all things for you girls that Obama put in place are going to be gone. And I'm talking especially to you younger girls. You are the next generation of us. And the LGBT community. You are the next generation coming up. You guys are going to be the ones to suffer. I'm a trans woman of a particular age. I got all the care and things I need. And the rest is elective on my part, which I've done some, but I'm not ashamed to say I'm also a diabetic. So everything with my diabetes has to be in order to do more elective surgeries. But that's not my point. My point is vote. Now, I'm going to focus mainly on us trans women. You girls have got to stop it. I know when you're young, you're transitioning. Some of you want to go popcorn, microwave, and transition. It doesn't work that way. It's a process. And it happens overnight. It doesn't happen overnight if you do it the right way. But until you go through all of that name change process, whatever, and you're just living your life as a woman now, and you've done certain things, and when it comes down to the voting, maybe you haven't gotten to the name change. So what? It just takes a few minutes. Few minutes. Every time I do a video, I see my neighbor driving by next to it, a red car. It only takes a few minutes to register. Then, when it's time to vote, to go to your polling, wherever you're zoned to vote, and step in there and vote. So what if you look like Sheila and your name says Herbert? So what? Does it really matter? For 5, 15 minutes, whatever time it takes to vote, so that you can get that clown out of office and the next president that cares about the LGBT community, you can continue to get your services. That was my main things. You bitches get out there and vote. And I'm talking to the LGBT community particularly now, because we're all out there complaining, but we've got to start doing something, girls, boys, and lesbians and whatever. We all got to get out there and vote, because it's very important. That orange man in office is not playing. He gagged Caitlyn Jenner. She thought she was special. I don't know if you recall when she went into Trump Towers. It was about a year or two ago. She's a Republican, and of course she was kind of against the trans gender women being shady, until her ass went in Trump Towers to the female bathroom, and she was red. Yes, she couldn't believe that she was stopped and she was asked that she was not in the right bathroom. She was in the woman's bathroom. And you know, Caitlyn Jenner used to be formerly Bruce Jenner. Now, who didn't know that, T? That was pure shade. And that bitch got coins for your nerves. And they stopped her, and she was embarrassed. I laughed. I said, good for you, bitch. Because you're a Republican, and I shouldn't really say because she's upset because she's a Republican, but she's being cute with the transgender community. She really wasn't interested, I would say, in who she felt was not in her class, money-wise. And she was gagged. They stopped her in Trump Towers. What are you doing? And they took a photo of her. This was a couple of years back. And they took a photo of her coming out of the women's room and saying that she was in the wrong bathroom. And Caitlyn Jenner hasn't been well ever since then. I laughed till I cried when I saw that. I was like, good for you, bitch. But I say all that to say, girls, trans women I'm talking to, please vote. Register yourself to vote if you're not, because this election is practically like our lives depend on it. And the rest of the LGBT community, please vote. 75% are not registered to vote. Wow. In our community, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. And I know some of the reasons why, especially you transgender girls, why you don't vote and things of that nature, but you've got to get over that. So what? For a few moments, you have to go. And your name may have not been legally changed yet. So what? You're young. It takes time to do all of these things. But don't let that stop you from exercising your right to vote. Because in the long run, you'll be sorry when Donald Trump takes away all the rights and health care of the LGBT women. And then you'll definitely have to be on the struggle. You see what I'm saying, girls? Here in New York, lucky. There's programs for the girls. But he's trying to take that away. And in other states, other girls aren't that fortunate. Believe me, I know. They're not that fortunate. Like some of you girls in New York. They're not that fortunate. They have to prostitute. They have to do that black market hormones and silicone and all that. Okay? They're not that lucky. So girls in New York, you're lucky. Vote. And the girls in other states and the trans men, vote. Because some of your other officials are transgender. And they're getting no support. Isn't that something? They're not getting any support. You girls sit up and laugh, talk about, oh, that official doesn't look real. Oh, she's a woman. They laugh at the looks. Bitches, it's not about the looks. So what? If you feel that they don't look totally female, they look like brick, all that stupid shit that the younger crowd worries about. We have transgender officials, we have transgender who are, I forget, they're senators, they're in our communities, different parts of the government in different states, and they're not supported. So then when Donald Trump decides to get rid of all of that, then the girls are hollering. Well, if you're not voting, then what do you expect? Okay. So I'm asking you to get it together, girls, and vote. And like I said, this is especially aimed for my transgender women and men, and for the LGBT community, and the heterosexual community. Vote. Right now, it's a Black Lives Matter thing. But first we've got to vote. And then we'll start with that. Actually, about the trans women or whatever, we have to vote first. And then I think second we can start with the trans Black Lives Matter. But we have to do first things first. Is get rid of Agent Orange in office. Yes, it's a lovely hot day, but it's supposed to be cool. And the Labor Day weekend is here. But I just had to say that since we're getting so close to voting time. And then I came across an article, few articles about us girls and the percentage that are even registered to vote, and I was shocked. But yet and still we're in the streets complaining or saying there's not enough representation of us. It is. But some of us in other states and wherever, oh, that representative or that person in office, oh my God, they're too busy laughing at our looks. Because it's been a couple of trans men and trans women. And they focus on the looks of the person, the official who's representing us, who has made it into Congress, who was voted into a particular office, top office. But if we focus on what they look like, damn it, they got there. They're there to represent us, utilize them, not sit back and laugh at what they look like. I can't believe what I've seen in tweets and comments. I couldn't believe it. It was preposterous to me. But once again, that's what I wanted to say. I'm glad I'm feeling better, and I should be back. And thank you for the company. You could call this a short service announcement. I love you all. And thanks for the company. Bye.